Machado de Assis, one of Brazil's greatest writers, is recognized as a founding figure of Brazilian realism. Born in Rio de Janeiro in 1839, he produced a wide-ranging and sophisticated body of work, delving into human nature with psychological depth and irony. His most famous works include the posthumous Memoirs of Brás, Cubas and Casmurro, along with short stories and chronicles that are central to Brazilian literature. The Psychiatrist, O Alienista, written in 1882, is one of his most iconic novellas, characterized by its satirical and reflective tone. The Psychiatrist is set in the fictional town of Itaguaí, where the protagonist, Dr. Bacamarte, a respected physician, decides to open an asylum called the Casa Verde to study and treat madness. At first, his intentions seem noble, to understand and cure mental illness. However, as the doctor begins applying his criteria to identify the mad, he starts committing an increasing number of citizens, many of whom appear perfectly normal by societal standards. This creates tension and unrest among the town's inhabitants, as more and more people find themselves imprisoned in the asylum. The story revolves around Bacamarte's decisions and his quest to define madness. The psychiatrist begins to question what it truly means to be sane or insane, leading him to increasingly extreme conclusions. Machado de Assis's satire exposes the fragility of social norms and the concept of sanity, with veiled critiques of power, science, and human reason. Bacamarte's obsession with science becomes a form of tyranny, prompting reflections on the limits of authority and rationality. In the end, Bacamarte reverses his criteria, deciding that he himself may be the only mad person, and voluntarily commits himself to the asylum. The Psychiatrist holds great significance in Brazilian literature, not only for its brilliant social critique, but also for how it explores themes such as madness, power, and science. Machado de Assis's use of irony and sarcasm is masterful, constructing a critique of the positivism and scientism of the time. Furthermore, the novella touches on universal questions about human nature, the abuse of power, and the definition of normalcy, remaining relevant even more than a century after its publication. To conclude, here are the 5 main characteristics of The Psychiatrist by Machado de Assis. Social and political satire. Machado de Assis uses the plot to critique authoritarianism, science as a tool of power, and the arbitrariness of social norms, questioning the validity of concepts like sanity and madness. Complex central character. Dr. Bacamarte, the protagonist, is a paradoxical figure, both rational and obsessed. His pursuit of scientific truth leads him to extreme decisions, highlighting the dangers of obsession with control. Refined irony and humor. The novella is filled with irony, a hallmark of Machado de Assis's work, as he uses humor to reveal the contradictions and absurdities of both science and society. Critique of positivism. The book reflects Machado's critique of positivism, a dominant philosophical movement in Brazil at the time, which believed in science as the solution to all human problems. Machado questions this blind faith in rationality. Reflection on human nature. The Psychiatrist goes beyond critiquing science, exploring deep aspects of human nature, such as madness, ambition, and the fine line between reason and delusion. This was our summary of The Psychiatrist by Machado de Assis. We hope it helped you.